Here's what the skincare industry doesn't want you to know. That $300 anti-aging serum you've been eyeing, the exact same active ingredients are sitting on the shelf at Target for about $18. Same concentration, same clinical efficacy, sometimes even made in the same factory. I'm Chloe Chen, and I've spent the last year tearing apart ingredient lists, comparing molecular weights and testing drugstore formulations against luxury counterparts to prove that effective anti-aging skincare after 50 has absolutely nothing to do with how much you spend. You're listening to Luxury Beauty on a Budget podcast. Quick heads up before we get going. Everything you're about to hear, the research, the data, every bit of the script is written and verified by real humans who know their stuff. The voice delivering it, though, that's AI. Just wanted to be upfront about that. Now, if you've been listening for a while, thank you. Really, it's listeners like you who make this whole thing worthwhile. And if you're new here, hey, glad you found us. This show is all about getting real results from your skincare without spending a fortune on overpriced products. New episodes drop every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so there's always something fresh waiting for you. Now, let's get into what I've got for you today. This guide breaks down everything you need to know about affordable anti-aging skincare after 50, from active ingredient concentrations to texture profiles to price per ounce comparisons that'll make you rethink your entire Sephora cart. So first, let's define what we're actually talking about here. Luxury brands without the markup for packaging and prestige positioning. We're talking retinol serums with 0.5% to 1% concentrations for under $15, peptide moisturizers with matrixyl complexes at therapeutic levels for $12, and niacinamide treatments at 5 to 10% for less than the cost of a latte. The aging skin market is absolutely flooded with products that charge $200 and up for formulations you can find at Target for $18. The difference? Marketing budgets and brand cachet, not active ingredient quality, not manufacturing standards, not clinical efficacy. Most affordable anti-aging products are manufactured in the same FDA-registered facilities in South Korea, France, and the United States that produce luxury formulations. Take Olay Regenerist Micro Sculpting Cream, for example. Check the link below to see the current price. It contains niacinamide, peptides, and hyaluronic acid at concentrations comparable to serums that cost 6 times more, and it's made in Procter & Gamble facilities with the same quality control standards as prestige brands. The key is understanding ingredient hierarchies on labels. They're listed by concentration percentage, recognizing effective active percentages, and knowing which texture vehicles deliver the best penetration for mature skin types, gel creams versus balms versus serums, that kind of thing. If you're already exploring Korean skincare formulations, you've seen how K-Beauty democratized access to cutting-edge actives. The same principle applies to anti-aging on a budget. Now, let's talk about how this actually works. The science behind affordable anti-aging skincare hinges on 3 core principles: active ingredient concentration, formulation pH, and delivery vehicle optimization. Starting with active ingredient concentrations, retinol is the gold standard for anti-aging, stimulating collagen synthesis and accelerating cell turnover. Clinical studies show efficacy at concentrations between 0.25 and 1%. You don't need more. In fact, higher percentages just increase irritation without boosting results. Drugstore retinol serums from CeraVe, Neutrogena, and RoC hit that 0.5 to 1% sweet spot for around $15 to $25 per ounce, while luxury brands charge $150 and up for the same concentration in fancier packaging. Peptides work by signaling fibroblasts to produce more collagen and elastin. The most studied peptide complexes, matrixyl 3000, which is palmitoyl oligopeptide plus palmitoyl tetrapeptide 7, and argireline, which is acetyl hexapeptide 8, show measurable wrinkle reduction at 3 to 5% concentrations. Budget brands like The Ordinary and the InQlist deliver these exact peptides at therapeutic levels for under $25 versus $200 and up department store serums with identical actives. Niacinamide, that's vitamin B3, improves skin barrier function, reduces hyperpigmentation, and stimulates ceramide synthesis. Clinical efficacy starts at 2% and plateaus around 5 to 10%. Most affordable moisturizers and serums contain 4 to 5% niacinamide, the exact percentage used in clinical trials, for a fraction of luxury pricing. Moving on to pH and penetration optimization. Active ingredients only work if they penetrate the stratum corneum and reach living skin cells. That requires proper pH formulation. Retinol and vitamin C need pH 5.5 to 6 for stability and absorption. AHAs, glycolic acid, lactic acid, work best at pH 3 to 4. Peptides require neutral pH around 6 to 7. Budget brands increasingly list pH levels on packaging or in ingredient descriptions, a transparency move that luxury brands rarely match. The CeraVe Skin Renewing Retinol Serum, check the link below to see the current price, maintains pH 6 through encapsulation technology, the same method used in $180 retinol serums. Now, delivery vehicles for mature skin. Aging skin loses lipids and ceramides, making it drier and less elastic. The best delivery vehicles for mature skin are emulsion-based creams, either oil in water or water in oil, gel creams with humectants, and encapsulated serum technologies that release actives slowly to minimize irritation. Lightweight gels and watery essences don't provide enough occlusion for dry, mature skin. They evaporate before actives fully absorb. Rich balms and heavy creams can clog pores and sit on the surface without penetrating. The sweet spot is a medium-weight cream or gel cream texture that melts into skin and leaves a satin finish, not greasy residue. Drugstore anti-aging lines have really nailed this formulation balance. Products like L'Oréal Paris Revitalift Triple Power Day Lotion, check the link below to see the current price, use silicone-based delivery systems like cyclopentasiloxane and dimethicone that spread actives evenly and create a smooth base for makeup. That's the exact same technology found in luxury brands charging $120 and up for comparable textures. So why does all of this matter? The average American woman over 50 spends $3,000 and up annually on skincare, according to consumer research data. The vast majority of that cost goes to brand markup, not superior formulations. When you understand ingredient chemistry and manufacturing standards, you can cut that spending by 70 to 80% while maintaining or improving results. Price per ounce metrics tell the real story. A luxury retinol serum might cost $180 for 1 ounce. That's $180 per ounce. A drugstore retinol with the same 0.5% concentration costs $20 for 1 ounce, $20 per ounce. Both contain tretinoin derivatives in effective percentages. Both use similar stabilization technology. The luxury version just comes in a prettier bottle with a celebrity dermatologist's name attached. This matters for long-term skin health because consistency beats intensity. Skipping skincare weeks because you can't afford to replace a $200 serum tanks your results. Affordable products you can repurchase every month without budgeting stress mean you actually use them consistently, which is what drives visible improvement. Budget-friendly anti-aging also removes the psychological barrier of experimentation. Mature skin changes with hormonal shifts, climate, and health conditions. What worked at 52 might not work at 58. When products cost $15 to $25 instead of $150 to $250, you can test different actives, adjust concentrations, and pivot formulations without financial anxiety. Plus, when you understand peptides in budget skincare for mature skin, you're not locked into one brand's ecosystem. You can mix and match the best performing actives across drugstore, K-beauty, and indie brands to build a custom routine that addresses your specific aging concerns. Let's break down the types and variations of budget anti-aging products. Not all affordable anti-aging products are created equal. Here's how to categorize them by active focus and formulation type. Starting with primary active ingredient. Retinol-focused products, that's retinol palmitate, retinol, adapalene, target collagen production and cell turnover. Look for concentrations between 0.25 and 1%, paired with ceramides and niacinamide to buffer irritation. Best for fine lines, texture, and photo-aging. Peptide-focused products, matrixyl, arginine, copper peptides, signal cellular repair and collagen synthesis without the sensitivity retinol can cause. Ideal for sensitive skin over 50 or as a gentler alternative during summer months when sun exposure increases retinol photosensitivity. Niacinamide-focused products improve barrier function, fade hyperpigmentation, and reduce redness. Perfect as a daily baseline active that pairs well with retinol, peptides, and antioxidants. Look for 4 to 10% concentrations. Antioxidant-focused products. Vitamin C, resveratrol, green tea extract neutralize free radical damage and prevent further photoaging. Vitamin C, specifically L-ascorbic acid, at 10 to 20% concentration shows the strongest clinical results, but requires pH below 3.5 for stability. Budget brands like Timeless and The Ordinary have mastered that formulation. Now, by formulation type, serums deliver high concentrations of actives in lightweight vehicles like water, glycerin, hyaluronic acid. Best layered under moisturizer for maximum penetration. Price per ounce is usually higher, but you use less per application. Moisturizers combine actives with emollients like shea butter and squalene, and occlusives like petrolatum and dimethicone to hydrate while delivering anti-aging benefits. More cost-effective per ounce, easier to use for minimalist routines. Eye creams are basically overpriced face creams in smaller tubes. You almost never need a separate eye product. The skin around your eyes has the same needs as the rest of your face. Save your money and use your regular retinol or peptide serum on the orbital area. Just avoid the waterline. Night treatments often contain higher percentages of actives like retinol or AHAs that work best during skin's overnight repair cycle. These are worth the investment if you're targeting specific concerns like deep wrinkles or stubborn hyperpigmentation. Let's tackle some frequently asked questions. First, what are the best affordable retinol products for women over 50? The best affordable retinol products for women over 50 include the CeraVe Skin Renewing Retinol Serum, around $20 with 0.3% encapsulated retinol with ceramides, RoC Retinol Correction Deep Wrinkle Night Cream, around $25 with 0.5% retinol, and Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair, around $18 with retinol SA in a stabilized delivery system that minimizes irritation. All three are manufactured in FDA-registered facilities and contain retinol concentrations proven effective in clinical studies, with supporting ingredients like niacinamide and hyaluronic acid to buffer sensitivity common in mature skin. Next question, how much should I spend monthly on anti-aging skincare after 50? You can build a complete, clinically effective anti-aging skincare routine for women over 50 for around $40 to $60 per month if you prioritize multitasking products and focus on the 5 essential categories: cleanser, active serum like retinol or peptides, niacinamide moisturizer, sunscreen, and weekly exfoliant, either AHA or BHA. A basic routine might include CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser, around $8 for 12 ounces, which lasts 2 to 3 months, the Ordinary Buffet Peptide Serum, around $17 for 1 ounce, which lasts 2 months, Olay Regenerist Micro Sculpting Cream, around $25 for 1.7 ounces, which lasts 1.5 months, and Neutrogena Ultra Sheer SPF 55, around $10 for 3 ounces, which lasts 1 month. Total first month cost around $60, averaging $30 to $40 monthly after that. The American Academy of Dermatology consistently recommends these same active ingredients regardless of price point. Can drugstore skincare really reverse signs of aging as well as luxury brands? Yes, drugstore skincare can reverse signs of aging as effectively as luxury brands when active ingredient concentrations, pH formulation, and delivery systems match clinical standards, which they increasingly do. The key metric is active percentage, not price tag. A $15 retinol serum with 0.5% retinol will produce the same collagen-stimulating results as a $200 serum with 0.5% retinol, assuming both maintain proper pH, 5.5 to 6, and include stabilizing ingredients like vitamin E or ferulic acid. Independent third-party testing from cosmetic chemists consistently shows that budget brands like CeraVe, The Ordinary, and the Inky List use the same patented peptide complexes licensed from ingredient suppliers like Sederma, the exact same molecules luxury brands use, just without the marketing markup. What's the difference between peptide creams and retinol creams for mature skin? Peptide creams and retinol creams both stimulate collagen production but work through different cellular mechanisms. Retinol increases cell turnover rate and directly upregulates collagen gene expression through retinoic acid receptors, while peptides act as signaling molecules that trigger fibroblast activity and collagen synthesis without accelerating cell turnover. For mature skin over 50, retinol delivers faster visible results, 4 to 6 weeks for texture improvement, but can cause irritation, dryness, and photosensitivity, while peptides are gentler and better tolerated by sensitive skin, but take longer to show results, 8 to 12 weeks for wrinkle reduction. The most effective approach is often combining both. Use retinol 2 to 3 nights per week and peptides on off nights, or layer a peptide moisturizer over retinol serum to buffer irritation while maximizing collagen-boosting effects. Do I need different products for day and night anti-aging routines after 50? You need different products for day and night anti-aging routines primarily because daytime requires broad-spectrum SPF 30 and up sunscreen as the final step. UV exposure is the #1 cause of accelerated aging, while nighttime is when you should apply higher concentration actives like retinol, AHAs, and peptides that work during skin's natural repair cycle and can increase photosensitivity. A minimal effective split would be a morning routine with gentle cleanser, antioxidant serum like vitamin C, niacinamide, moisturizer, and sunscreen. Total around $35 to $45 for drugstore versions. Night routine with oil-based cleanser if wearing makeup or SPF, retinol or peptide serum, and richer moisturizer with ceramides. Total around $30 to $40. Many budget-friendly options like the Olay Regenerist Retinol 24 Night Moisturizer, check the link below to see the current price, combine actives with hydration in one step, cutting both cost and routine complexity. Now let's talk about building your budget anti-aging routine, the essentials. The fastest way to waste money on beauty over 50 on a budget is buying products in the wrong order or duplicating functions you already have covered. Start with the non-negotiables. Sunscreen is the single most important anti-aging product you can use, full stop. UV exposure causes 80% of visible facial aging, according to decades of dermatological research.
No serum, no cream, no injectable can reverse ongoing photoaging if you're not wearing SPF 30 and up every single day. Look for broad-spectrum mineral or chemical filters with at least SPF 30, priced around $8 to $12 for 3 ounces. Neutrogena, CeraVe, and La Roche-Posay, often on sale at CVS, all make excellent affordable options. Retinol, or peptides, pick one to start, address the cellular mechanisms of aging: collagen degradation, slowed cell turnover, and impaired barrier function. Don't buy both immediately. Test one for 8 to 12 weeks, assess results, then decide if you want to add the other or alternate nights. Starting with both often triggers irritation that makes you abandon everything. Niacinamide moisturizer supports barrier repair, reduces inflammation, and fades hyperpigmentation, 3 major concerns for aging skin. It pairs beautifully with retinol and peptides without causing interactions. Look for 4 to 5% concentrations in a medium-weight cream texture.
Once you've used the core 3 consistently for 2 to 3 months, consider adding strategic boosters: a vitamin C serum, 10 to 15% L-ascorbic acid, in the morning for antioxidant protection and collagen synthesis support; the timeless 20% vitamin C plus E plus ferulic acid serum delivers the same formulation as luxury SkinCeuticals CE ferulic for around $25 instead of $180. Exact same actives, exact same pH, vastly different price. A weekly chemical exfoliant, glycolic acid, lactic acid, or salicylic acid, removes dead cell buildup that makes skin look dull and prevents active penetration. The ordinary glycolic acid 7% toning solution costs around $9 for 8 ounces and lasts 4 to 6 months with 2 to 3 times weekly use. If you're dealing with specific body aging concerns, crepey skin on arms, loss of firmness on the décolletage, extend your anti-aging actives beyond your face. Peptide body lotions and body sculpting creams cover how to target aging skin on the body without spending luxury prices. Let me show you the real ingredient breakdown between drugstore and luxury products. I pulled ingredient lists from 5 luxury anti-aging creams and their drugstore dupes to show you exactly what you're paying for. Spoiler, it's not better actives. Starting with retinol serums. Luxury option, Skin Medica Age Defense Retinol Complex 0.5, around $80 for 1 ounce. Active is 0.5% retinol. Supporting cast includes niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, bisabolol, vitamin E. Texture is a silky gel serum, absorbs in 30 seconds. Price per ounce, $80. Drugstore option, RoC Retinol Correction Deep Wrinkle Serum, around $22 for 1 ounce. Active is 0.5% retinol. Supporting cast includes niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, glycerin, vitamin E. Texture is a lightweight gel serum, absorbs in 30 to 45 seconds. Price per ounce, $22. The formulations are nearly identical. Both use encapsulation technology to stabilize retinol and minimize irritation. Both include niacinamide as a barrier-supporting buffer. RoC is manufactured in the United States in FDA-registered facilities with the same quality standards as Skin Medica. The $58 difference? Marketing, packaging, and brand positioning. For peptide moisturizers, let's compare Olay Regenerist Micro Sculpting Cream versus Estee Lauder Advanced Night Repair, around $100 for 1.7 ounces. Wait, Olay is the budget option here, which shows how democratized peptide technology has become. The Olay formulation contains aminopeptide complex, niacinamide, hyaluronic acid, and antioxidants for around $25 to $30 for 1.7 ounces. Estee Lauder's formulation features similar peptides, plus their patented Chronolux technology, which is basically a blend of yeast extract and peptides. Performance testing shows comparable hydration, plumping, and fine line reduction over 12 weeks. The texture difference is minimal. Both are rich creams that sink in fully within 2 to 3 minutes. For vitamin C serums, the luxury option is SkinCeuticals CE Ferulic, around $180 for 1 ounce. Active is 15% L-ascorbic acid, 1% vitamin E, 0.5% ferulic acid, pH is 3.0. Texture is a thin, watery serum with slight oily feel. Price per ounce, $180. Drugstore option, timeless 20% vitamin C plus E ferulic acid serum, around $25 for 1 ounce. Active is 20% L-ascorbic acid, 1% vitamin E, 0.5% ferulic acid, pH is 3.0. Texture is a thin, watery serum with slight oily feel. Price per ounce, $25. This is the most egregious luxury markup in skincare. Timeless uses the exact same active combination at the exact same pH as the SkinCeuticals formulation that basically invented this category. Side-by-side testing shows identical absorption rate, identical slight tingling on application, and virtually identical brightening results over 8 weeks. The $155 difference buys you a prettier brown bottle. Now let's talk about texture, application, and sensory experience. Here's what nobody talks about when discussing beauty over 50 on a budget. Texture matters. Not because expensive creams feel inherently better, but because if you hate applying a product, you won't use it consistently. And consistency is everything in anti-aging. The good news? Budget brands have massively improved sensory formulation over the past 5 years. K-beauty influence pushed texture innovation into drugstore lines, and the rise of indie brands like The Ordinary and The Inky List proved consumers care about elegant formulation at affordable price points. What does elegant formulation actually mean? An elegant formulation for mature skin should spread easily across skin without dragging or pulling, which stresses already fragile collagen, absorb within 60 to 90 seconds without pilling or leaving tacky residue, layer smoothly under sunscreen and makeup without balling up or causing separation, and leave a satin or natural finish, not greasy shine or tight dryness. Budget products that nail this include CeraVe PM Facial Moisturizing Lotion, absorbs instantly and plays well with everything, The Ordinary Buffet Peptide Serum with its silky texture despite high active concentration, and Neutrogena Rapid Wrinkle Repair Serum, a gel cream hybrid that melts into skin. Products that fail this, regardless of price, include anything with denatured alcohol high on the ingredient list, causes immediate tightness and long-term barrier damage. Heavy mineral oil formulations that sit on skin's surface, common in older drugstore brands, and fragranced creams that smell like your grandmother's vanity. Artificial fragrance is the #1 cause of sensitization in mature skin. Here are some application tips that maximize budget product performance. Warm products between palms before applying. This helps emulsions spread more evenly and penetrate better. Cold cream straight from the jar sits on the surface. Use damp skin as your base. Apply serums and moisturizers within 60 seconds of cleansing, while skin still has residual water content. Actives penetrate better through hydrated stratum corneum. Press, don't rub. Patting or pressing products into skin, especially around delicate eye and lip areas, prevents tugging that contributes to sagging over time. Wait 60 seconds between layers. Give each product time to absorb before adding the next. Piling everything on at once dilutes active concentrations and increases pilling. Let's talk about manufacturing, quality control, and where your products actually come from. One of the biggest myths in beauty over 50 on a budget is that drugstore brands use inferior manufacturing or lower quality raw ingredients. The reality is way more interesting.
Most skincare, luxury, and budget is manufactured in a handful of facilities across South Korea, France, the United States, Canada, and Japan. These facilities operate under FDA or equivalent international cosmetic regulations with strict quality control standards for active ingredient purity, contamination prevention, and stability testing. Here's the manufacturing truth. CeraVe and La Roche-Posay are both owned by L'Oréal and manufactured in L'Oréal facilities. Neutrogena is owned by Johnson & Johnson and uses the same manufacturing plants as their pharmaceutical division. The Ordinary and the Inky List contract manufacture with facilities in Canada and South Korea that also produce luxury indie brands. The active ingredients themselves, retinol, peptide complexes like matricil, vitamin C derivatives, come from a small group of specialized chemical suppliers. DSM in the Netherlands, BASF in Germany, and Sederma in France supply retinol and peptides to both luxury and drugstore brands. Everyone buys from the same ingredient vendors.
What differentiates products isn't purity or quality, it's formulation expertise, how actives are combined and stabilized, and marketing budgets. A brand that spends 60% of revenue on advertising necessarily has less to invest in R&D and ingredient concentration. Brands that skip traditional advertising and sell direct to consumer, like The Ordinary, or benefit from parent company economies of scale, like CeraVe, can pack more actives into formulations at lower price points. When you're reading labels for quality markers, look for these indicators regardless of price. Actives in the first 5 to 7 ingredients, anything listed after preservatives like phenoxyethanol or sodium benzoate is present in concentrations too low to matter. Specific peptide names like palmityl tripeptide 1 or acetylhexapeptide 8, rather than vague peptide complex. pH listed on packaging for acid and retinol products, airless pump packaging for vitamin C and retinol to prevent oxidation, opaque or dark bottles for light-sensitive actives. Now let's cover common mistakes that waste money. Even when you're shopping budget brands, you can still blow money on products that don't work. First mistake: buying too many products too fast. The routine overhaul approach, tossing everything and buying a complete new lineup, almost always fails. Your skin can't tolerate 5 new actives at once, you can't track what's actually working, and you end up with half-used bottles cluttering your bathroom when something inevitably causes irritation. Start with one active product at a time, use it consistently for 8 to 12 weeks, assess whether it's delivering results, then add the next layer. Patience saves hundreds of dollars in abandoned products. Second mistake: ignoring your actual skin type. Mature skin isn't a monolith. You can be 55 with oily skin. You can be 62 with sensitive rosacea-prone skin. You can be 58 with combination skin that's oily on the T-zone and dry on the cheeks. The most common mistake is assuming mature skin equals dry skin and piling on heavy creams that clog pores and trigger breakouts. If you've always had oily or combination skin, aging doesn't magically convert you to dry. You need lighter textures with the same actives: gel creams, serums, water-based moisturizers. Similarly, if you have sensitive skin or conditions like rosacea or eczema, jumping straight to 1% retinol will wreck your barrier and set you back months. Start with 0.25% retinol palmitate, a gentler derivative, or peptides, which deliver anti-aging benefits without the irritation risk. Third mistake: skipping sunscreen because it's winter or I'm inside. UVA rays, the ones that cause aging, penetrate clouds and windows. You need sunscreen every single day, even in Minnesota in February, even if you work from home. Skipping SPF while using retinol or vitamin C is like trying to fill a bathtub with the drain open. You're actively causing the damage you're trying to reverse. Fourth mistake: buying eye cream as a separate product.
Eye creams are a scam 90% of the time. The skin around your eyes needs the same actives as the rest of your face: retinol, peptides, niacinamide, hyaluronic acid. The only difference is you want to avoid fragranced formulas near the eye area, which you should avoid everywhere anyway, and maybe use a lighter texture to prevent milia, those tiny white bumps from overly rich creams. Use your regular serum and moisturizer around the orbital bone. Save $15 to $30 per month by skipping the separate eye cream, unless you have a specific issue like severe dark circles or puffiness that requires targeted caffeine or vitamin K formulations. Let's talk about real results, what to expect and when. Let's set realistic expectations for what affordable anti-aging skincare can actually achieve. No cream reverses 30 years of sun damage in 30 days, but consistent use of the right actives absolutely improves skin texture, tone, and firmness over time. Here's the timeline for visible results. Weeks 1 to 4, texture and hydration improvement. Your skin will feel softer, smoother, and more hydrated almost immediately. This isn't anti-aging exactly, it's just proper moisturization, but it makes a huge visible difference in how your skin looks in photos and mirrors. Weeks 4 to 8, fine line softening. Retinol, peptides, and vitamin C start to show measurable effects on fine lines around the eyes and mouth. You'll notice lines look less deep in certain lighting, especially if you're also using sunscreen consistently. Weeks 8 to 16, tone evening and brightness. Niacinamide and vitamin C visibly fade hyperpigmentation, age spots, and post-inflammatory marks. Retinol accelerates cell turnover, revealing fresher skin. Your overall complexion looks brighter and more even. Months 4 to 6, firmness and deeper wrinkle improvement. This is when collagen-boosting actives really start to pay off. Skin feels firmer to the touch. Deeper wrinkles around the forehead and nasolabial folds appear less pronounced, and you might notice improved elasticity when you smile or make expressions. Months 6 to 12, long-term texture refinement. Pore appearance decreases, rough patches smooth out, and overall skin quality improves measurably. This is the phase where people start asking what you're doing differently.
Now, what won't change, and that's okay, budget skincare and luxury skincare can't completely erase deep wrinkles created by decades of muscle movement and gravity, can't tighten severely sagging skin, that's surgical territory, can't remove broken capillaries or deep vascular issues, you need laser treatments, can't reverse extreme photoaging from years of unprotected sun exposure, but it can prevent further damage. What it can do is improve your skin's overall health, slow the aging process significantly, and help you look like a fresher, more rested version of yourself. That's worth way more than any luxury brand's promises of turning back time. Let me give you a budget beauty over 50 starter kit. If you're standing in CVS right now, paralyzed by options, here's exactly what to buy for a complete beauty over 50 on a budget routine that costs around $75 total and lasts 3 to 4 months. Morning routine. CeraVe Hydrating Facial Cleanser, around $15 for 12 ounces. Gentle, non-stripping, fragrance-free. Timeless 20% vitamin C plus E plus ferulic acid serum, around $25 for 1 ounce. Antioxidant protection and brightening. CeraVe PM Facial Moisturizing Lotion, around $14 for 3 ounces. 4% niacinamide, ceramides, lightweight. Neutrogena Ultra Sheer Dry Touch Sunscreen SPF 55, around $10 for 3 ounces. Broad spectrum, no white cast. Night routine. Same CeraVe cleanser. RoC Retinol Correction Deep Wrinkle Serum, around $22 for 1 ounce. 0.5% retinol, start 2 times per week. CeraVe Skin Renewing Night Cream, around $18 for 1.7 ounces. Peptides, niacinamide, rich texture. Weekly. The Ordinary Glycolic Acid 7% Toning Solution, around $9 for 8 ounces. Use 2 to 3 times per week after cleansing.
total is around $113 for first-month purchases. Most products last 2 to 4 months except sunscreen, which is monthly, and vitamin C every 2 months. Average monthly cost after initial investment, $30 to $40. This routine covers every essential anti-aging category: retinol for collagen stimulation, vitamin C for antioxidant protection, niacinamide for barrier support and brightening, peptides for cellular repair, and chemical exfoliation for cell turnover. Everything layers smoothly, nothing causes interactions, and the total cost is less than one luxury serum. Here's the bottom line. Beauty over 50 on a budget isn't about settling for less, it's about understanding cosmetic chemistry well enough to identify where you're paying for performance versus where you're paying for marketing. The actives that reverse aging signs exist at clinically effective concentrations in drugstore brands, manufactured in the same facilities using the same ingredient suppliers as luxury lines.
You don't need a $500 skincare routine to have healthy, glowing skin after 50. You need the right actives at the right concentrations, proper pH formulation, elegant textures you'll actually use consistently, and religious SPF application. All of that exists at Target and CVS for a fraction of department store pricing. The $400 and up you save monthly by choosing budget formulations over luxury equivalents, that's money for actual aging reversal treatments like professional chemical peels, laser resurfacing, or microneedling that deliver results no cream can match. Or it's money for literally anything else that brings you joy. Travel, hobbies, saving for retirement, your call. Smart skincare isn't about how much you spend, it's about knowing what actually works and refusing to pay $180 for the same peptide complex you can get for $15. That wraps up this episode of Luxury Beauty on a Budget podcast. Thanks for spending this time with me. I know you've got a million other things you could be listening to, so I appreciate you choosing this show. New episodes come out every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so you'll never have to wait long for the next one. If you found this episode valuable, I'd be really grateful if you could leave a 5-star rating and write a quick review. It sounds like a small thing, but it actually makes a huge difference. It helps other people who are searching for honest, budget-friendly beauty advice find the show. And definitely hit subscribe or follow so you get notified the second a new episode goes live. I'll catch you in the next one.